Hi guys, I'm back with another video. So today's video is yet again another girl talk video, back with another podcast. Yes, I know I am on a roll for you guys. So today's title is Depression Amongst College Students. So this was a really requested topic for me to discuss, and I think it's really important to talk about something this serious because whether you know it or not, whether it's prevalent or not, it is something that affects a lot of us college students currently and has been affecting a lot of college students. In this day and age where a lot of mental health topics are just now becoming, adequate enough or important enough or just seem normal enough to talk about, it really has been a epidemic that has been hidden under the rug or kicked under the rug in which we couldn't talk about. So I just wanted to break down a couple of things as to why college students are depressed and, just some of the things that aren't really an asset to the overall college experience. So let's get right into this video. My first reason that I feel like a lot of college students are depressed is because college itself is a new experience that most people are not ready for. So you come from a lifestyle from kindergarten all the way to 12th grade and even before that, in which your parents are responsible for you. Your guardian, your grandparents, your parents are responsible for you. Everything that you do is driven by them. They pay for everything. They help you. They cook for you. They make your bed. Sometimes they do your laundry. They do all of that. So you're coming from a very sheltered place. And when you get to college and you don't get those skills to just know certain things on your own, it really is a culture shock, and it can honestly throw you into a state of depression or anxiety or uncertainty very fast. I know when I came to college, it was definitely a shocker for me. I've never really had to be someone who shares a lot, and I moved into a room where I had 5 other female roommates, and that was just an experience that I feel like I really needed, but it was also very detrimental in certain ways. It was something in which I didn't know how to deal with because I never really had to deal with that many people confined in such a small space. So when you feel like you're in these situations that are brand new, of course, when you're trying to make friends as well as keep grades and be involved, get your scholarships and do all the things that a college student is supposed to do to stay well-rounded, it does throw you into a state of depression. It does throw you off. It does hurt you. It does really affect you. I feel like a lot of high schools, especially my high school, there's a big lack on college preparation when it comes to mentality. Yes, they might prepare you academically, they might prepare you professionally, they might prepare you in those ways, but mentally there has to be a lot more influence coming from that grade school level to go into college with the right mindset mentally about how things are going to be. Yes, college tours are there, and some colleges have like the week or the couple days over the summer where you stay in the college dorm and you do the experience for like a couple days, but mentally people need to be prepared for college. And I feel like I was not mentally prepared for college. I wasn't expecting it to be the way how it was. I was always told college is hard, but going into college, I feel like if you don't know exactly what you want to do, it's going to be a shock. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a change. And yes, all changes happen, and there's things that you naturally as a human have to get adapted to, but going into college is a very big difference. It is probably one of the most, I would say, top 5 hardest thing that a person has to do is honestly go to college and experience that transition. It's very imperative to get students aware of what they're going to be experiencing and get those authentic people that are going to give you the real deal, which is why I am so passionate about my platform about college and girl talk and helping people and seeking a mentor when you get to college, because it's something that you're going to need. It's something that's very imperative, because that transition honestly can throw somebody into a serious depression. It is very dramatic and it's very drastic, and it's something that definitely needs to be addressed with a lot of the high schools to help their students make that transition just a little bit more simpler. Now, reason number 2 why I think a lot of college students are depressed is because the financial obligation. Financial obligations with college can really put people down and cause a lot of stress. I know a ton of students who are going here out of pocket, such as myself. I know a ton of students that had to scramble, scratch, and figure out what they needed to do to pay for college, to get the grade, or maybe to meet a certain requirement just to get the money to go. College is unnecessarily expensive in this country, and the fact that America is still adopting the systems that college is this expensive is honestly baffling to me. The fact that we are, as a college student, you usually are the next up of the generation. So you're getting a degree in biology to become a doctor, or getting a degree in business to become the next, Fortune 500 company that affects the economy here in America. You're getting a degree to do all of these things. You are the future of tomorrow, but you have to be so thrown into this burden of financial obligation that you could barely even do what you came here to do. And it puts a lot of stress on families. College should not be $30,000 a year or whatever it may be. College should honestly be free. It should be free. And the thing about college is that, yes, I couldn't understand paying tuition for classes or just to be enrolled as a student. But it comes with so many unnecessary fees, like books. A university, an institution that is well funded, even if it's poorly funded, at least you have enough money to buy free books. Buying books is probably the worst thing about college expenses, because when you realize you don't even need that book, or a teacher just tells you to buy it and you really need it for all of 15 to 16 weeks in the semester, that is honestly, excuse my language, but that is honestly bullshit. That's honestly bullshit. Financial obligations in college are really what causes a lot of people to be stressed. It really what causes a lot of these girls to go out here and do things that they probably shouldn't be doing just to pay for it. It really does cause a lot of these young men out here going and making certain decisions just to pay for college, just so that they won't have to ask their parents, just so that they don't want to see their family struggle, just so they can get that degree. And it honestly adds a lot of stress. It adds a lot of stress. And if you're a college student, I know you can agree with me about how college really is a financial struggle. And if you don't have it, it's almost like you're shit out of luck. What am I going to do because I don't have the money? What am I going to do because I can't pay the tuition? And the thing about college universities and colleges and institutions, it's like after you don't pay that balance after a certain amount of time, you are dropped from your classes. So how am I supposed to be told as I'm growing up, oh, you're going to go to college, you're going to get a degree, and you're going to use that degree, and you're going to be a successful person. But as soon as I don't have the money to pay for it, whatever my circumstances may be, I'm now told that I'm dropped and I can't continue on with my education. And then when me, as a student who had to drop out or had to withdraw because I can't afford it, ends up doing something like working at a minimum wage paying job as an adult, or trying to support a family with barely anything, now I'm shunned. Now I'm thrown into a lower class. Now I'm looked at as someone who didn't care. Now I'm looked at as someone who doesn't have anything. All because I can't afford the education. And it's not affordable. Only rich, upper class people can honestly really afford college. If I have to take out a loan to pay for college, I can't afford it. If I have to seek government assistance, I can afford it. So why does America, and maybe other countries too, but in particular, why does America have them brainwashed into thinking that they need this degree to actually be successful in life? But there's all these conditions within the financial realm that obviously see that most people who come from people who even have degrees, who come from families who are educated, can't even use the degree that they earned and got the money to pay for their child to go to college. That is a stressful, and it really does add to a lot of college students' depression, because the pressure to stay in school is there. The pressure to really wake up and say, okay, I have to be a student, I have to be a worker, I have to be, even some cases, an athlete, and still have to pay for all of these different things to survive, because college doesn't give you all the resources that you need to survive, is depressing. It honestly is depressing. You don't know how many people came in when I was a college freshman back in 2015 who don't go here anymore off the strength that they just can't afford it. That's honestly really sad that America rather sit here and make so much money from these college institutions and really sit up here and charge young 18-year-old students who are fresh into this money, unnecessary money. If you're going to charge me money, at least make it reasonable, okay? Y'all want to charge me thousands of dollars for something that is completely not worth that price. I mean, education is priceless, but colleges itself, the things that come with it, is not worth all the financial obligation, and it genuinely puts financial stress and throws a lot of students into depression. I look at the cycle. You're told that you need a degree and need to go to college to be successful in life. And when you get here, now that you can't afford it, now you have it made up in your head that now you won't be successful. It's almost like a scam. We're scammed into going to college, but then we have to pay for it, unnecessarily amounts at least. And if we don't, we're nothing. That's how they want us to believe. And it's honestly depressing. My third reason as to why I think a lot of college students are depressed is because college is also a big high school with the same drama and just with more people. And then you're confined to like the same place 24/7. So college is not college to me. Freshman year of college is 13th grade. Sophomore year of college is 14th grade. Junior year of college is 15th grade, and senior year of college and beyond is 16th, 17th, 18th grade. That's what college is, because you get the same drama. And I know this is not one of those political correct reasons. This is just hearsay, but it is something. You're confined to this space 24/7. You have to deal with a lot of things, whether you like it or not. My freshman year, there was so much drama that arose in my suite, things that I had nothing to do with, and it threw me off so much academically. And you're always in something like this. It's a lot of stress. It throws people into depression, especially when you're not a part of it or you don't want to be a part of it. The fact that a lot of girls come to college and they just want to be themselves, but they get ridiculed, especially at HBCUs. I know if you go to a HBCUs, I've been told by all my friends that go to HBCUs that it's a lot of competition amongst girls. If you don't have that Louis Vuitton bag, if you don't have that mink Brazilian in your hair, if you don't have that Montclair coat in the winter, if you don't have those Balmain jeans or those True Religion jeans with your Ugg boots or whatever, you ain't popping. And you have to sit up here and compete with girls and all that stuff. And it is stress. It's drama. And it adds to a lot of depression when First of all, you're broke as it is, like I just said. But then you're supposed to upkeep this persona and be this person while you're in college, when at the end of the day, we're all at the same level. We're all broke as hell, okay? It sucks that it really will throw people into depression when they don't meet up to the standards that are set out by them, by their college society, and just as society and as in general. My fourth reason as to why I feel like a lot of college students get thrown into depression is because a lot of the professors are very unrealistic. So a lot of professors just don't understand that the pressures from this generation is not what they experienced growing up. You guys didn't have social media. You guys didn't have the same type of influences. Those generations were a little bit less, I guess you can say, a little bit less informal. You know, we have like this informal generation going on, and it was like a little bit less I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's really a lot of unrealistic professors who expect you to just be completely in your books all the time, and it can really make you depressed, being that you have to compete and you have to come up academically. You have to be these things to succeed and get the grades and do what you need to do, but then you're also expected by society and by employers and all of that to be a well-rounded student and be involved in so many different things. I have a lot of friends that go to my school that are on the football team, and if you guys could ever hear some of these guys talk about the things that they have to endure being a football player, and having to wake up in the morning, go to practice, and then go to class, and then go to football meeting, and then go to tutoring, and then go to this and know the plays. Yes, it is what they signed up for, and yes, it is something that comes with the territory, but it's really unrealistic for a lot of these professors to throw these unnecessary burdens and so much homework and papers and all this stuff on college students. And I'm not saying college is supposed to be a walk in the park. I know it's not supposed to be easy. I know it's supposed to be a challenge, but it's different when it's unrealistic challenges. It's different when you're telling me to read 62 pages in one night and come back know everything the same day. That's what's unrealistic. I know I want to sit up here and learn. I have to read a book. I have to study. I have to be in the library. But when it becomes unrealistic from a professor knowing that I don't just take your class, I may take 3 or 4 other classes and then still have to work a part-time job and then still have to take care of my family, it becomes unrealistic. And a lot of professors do not really realize that when they are making these obligations and these homework and these assignments and all these quizzes for students to comply by. My fifth and final reason as to why I feel a lot of college students are depressed, and the biggest reason why I feel like a lot of college students are depressed, is because of parental pressures. Like this video, comment, share it if you're a college student and at some point you have been pressured by your parents to be a certain way, choose a certain major, perform at a certain level, or do anything above those lines. Like this video right now. Share this video right now. Parental influence and parental pressures have scarred, hurt, damaged, influenced college students since I can remember. And I feel like it only gets worse and worse with such a demanding society, and a society that brutally tells college students and just people in general if they're going to make it, if they're not going to make it, and what they're supposed to do to make it. Now, I understand. Our parents come from a generation that definitely was a little bit more harsh, especially when it came to being successful in life, because that generation was so driven by, hard work and diligence and providing for your family. And there weren't as many facets to making money like there is now, where you can kind of become your own person and just be your own brand from things like social media, which definitely runs and influences our generation. Because parents come from such a generation that is so driven by that same diligence and hard work, that they apply those same pressures that they had on a generation that cannot keep up or cannot just mentally take those type of pressures. And what I mean by that is this generation is a lot more sensitive than past. I know that because I'm in this generation. I'm borderline 90s, I'm borderline 2000s, basically. I was born in the 90s, I'm still a 90s baby, but I'm still, I still am intuitive with kids that are 14, 15, 16 years old that have been born in the early 2000s. So I understand that this generation is just a lot more sensitive than generations from before, and you cannot put the same type of pressures on them without it being considered some form of abuse or some sort of mental torture or some form of mental pressures and things like that, because now there actually is a definition for that type of term. Now there is a way to decipher what those things are. And when you go to college and you're going through all the 4 things I just listed, the drama, the financial obligations, pressures from professors, and all of that stuff, when you're going through all that type of thing, the last thing that you want to have is pressure from a place that is supposed to bring you harmonious and just equilibrium. Your parents, your family, family pressures. And coming from a Nigerian upbringing, I understand a lot of you guys can resonate with what I'm saying. Personally, for me, my parents never really put those type of pressures on me. My parents are very relaxed people. They're very laid back, but you know, they have always been strict on me. And when it came to academics, you better have it together unless you're going to be in big trouble, right? You better just make those A's. You better be reading your books. Read your books. Read your books. Read your books is what my parents always told me. And you know how your Nigerian parents have always said, I was the top of my class. I graduated first in my class. Like they all said, I guess y'all all graduated first, right? All of you guys graduated first. You guys were all the top of your class, correct? So you have those pressures from your parents and you always feel like, okay, I have to make my parents proud. And that's one thing in my culture. You have to make your parents proud. You do things to make sure that your parents live well off. So you have those pressures in the back of your head, especially coming from an ethnicity that just doesn't have the same opportunities as another. So especially when you're black, you know, you don't have the same opportunities. It's a lot harder for you, like I stated in previous videos, where it is harder for African Americans. It also is harder for women, and it's harder for African American women. And don't let you be African at that. Now it's even harder for you. A lot of times we don't get taken serious as someone who's an immigrant or someone that just comes from a family background of immigrants. So it is hard when you have those parental pressures. A lot of Nigerian kids get caught up in the whole parental pressures of you have to be a doctor, you have to be an engineer, you have to be a lawyer, and then they feel like they have no choice. And then you always have those pressures, and if you don't abide by those rules, now you're seen as an outcast, you're seen as disrespectful, seen as a rebellious person. And it's hard when you have those pressures and you still have to sit here and perform financially. You have to sit there and perform academically. You have to sit there and perform socially. And that goes for any student of any race. It is hard when you have those parental pressures. And I think that it definitely throws a lot of college students into a state of depression. It makes them feel very uncomfortable. It makes them feel as if they don't perform well, if they fail, if they're not successful, they're a failure. They let people down. And to have that burden sitting on you when you're supposed to be at the happiest moment of your life, you're supposed to be making these memories and these friends and these connections and traveling as a young adult, it turns a lot of people into a deep depression. So I say this to say in conclusion, there are many things that allow us to get depressed, especially being a college student. Being a college student is like a brotherhood or a sisterhood or a family that many people don't actually get to experience, believe it or not. And it's something that you will not understand unless you experience it. But I want to leave you guys off with this. You can do it. Because there's been many times in my college career where I've been depressed. I wanted to give up. I said I want to become a stripper, to pay, whatever it may be. I want to drop out. I'm done. I can't do this. I'm not performing well. I've been at points in my college career where it just wasn't working out. I was depressed. I couldn't take it. We've all been there. But my thing I want to tell you guys is you can do it, because I know I can do it. The reason why you're still in college is because you've been doing it. The reason why you're gonna graduate college and get that degree is because you have been doing it. The reason why you got admitted into college and you enrolled in college is because you've been doing it, and you can do it. There's nothing that you can't do in this world. There's nothing or nobody, no obligation, no pressure, no drama, no nothing that is going to leave you in a depressed state and deter you from the goal that you have, which is getting that degree and walking across that stage and framing that in your office from your $1 million job, right? Because that's the goal that we all have, right? So I want to end off by saying, please, if you are depressed, speak. Okay, that's one thing I've learned to do is don't bottle everything up. Speak to people. There's people that resonate with you. You know, there's a lot of college students that are still in the same predicament that actually can correlate to the same issues that you have, and you would never think so. A lot of us go through the same thing. So you have to speak up about it. You have to take advantage of the resources that your campus may offer you and that your friends may offer you. And you have to have the goal set that you know that you can do it. Tune out all that negativity. If it takes you 6, 7, 8 years to get a degree, hell, you still got the degree. It doesn't matter. Try to be your best to keep those grades up. Try your best to be social. But also remember that if you need a break or you need time, if you need to cry, if you need to take a break, a deep breath, if you need to just scream, if you need whatever you need to do to release that depression, that anxiety, and that anger, or whatever it may be, you as a college student and you as a human, you can do that. So that's pretty much it for this video. Please comment down in the comment section down below what you guys think about my commentary. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is there anything I left out? Can you resonate with what I'm saying? How do you feel about it? I want to know what you guys have to say. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media networks, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.
I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine. Who can relate? Woo! I've been on the low, I've been taking my time. I feel like I'm out of my mind. It feel like my life ain't mine.